Well, it's been quite the day processing all of this, and as only God is so incredibly good at, it was a very timely day to be processing all of this. Especially as I was sitting here and as I was working through and putting this picture together, you know, it really hit home how easy it is for me, especially when I'm experiencing brokenness in this world, things that just don't go the way that they should or the way that I think that they should. And it's so easy for me to get so down sometimes and frustrated and just despairing even. Okay, what is going to happen, instead of looking and realizing every single time I experience brokenness, whether it's from the sin of other people or whether it's from my own sin, I have a unique opportunity to experience God's love shining through, His steadfast love shining through in a whole new way, being lavished on me, Him being with me, Him never giving up on me no matter what, being there. What a difference. What an incredible gift that is. And, today was one of those days when things kind of broke. One of the things I don't really like a lot, and you know this if you went through the other online art journaling course based on Jerry Bridges' book, Who Am I? I am not a fan of moving. And this past weekend, we've just put our house up on the market. And yes, this is less than 10 months after we bought this house. We're now moving cross country again. Oh, yes. Welcome to God's Character Boot Camp. And here we are. We just put our house up on the market last week. And right away, we got a phone call from a realtor wanting to show it. He showed it to the woman, and he was amazed at the house and says, "Oh, this is definitely on our short list." The next day, they asked if they could come back, and they spent an hour going back over the house looking at it. And as he was leaving, he told my husband, "I'm 99% sure you'll have an offer by 4 tomorrow." So here I am, camping out in Genesis 3, creating my page, thinking about the brokenness, but how God's love is steadfastly shining through. And as I'm doing this, 4 o'clock comes and goes. No phone call, no offer. Things did not go the way we expected they would. And yet, you know what? This was such a timely reminder. Don't get down over the brokenness, Deb. Don't get down over the disappointments that come from living in this fallen world. And so here's the thing. Tonight, I didn't just want to create a little reminder or something. I kind of felt spurred on to actually create another page to highlight the key lesson that God was teaching me. Because you know something? I want to remember this now. And so what I ended up writing was, beware getting so caught up looking at the brokenness that you miss out on seeing God's love steadfastly shining through. And this is such a great reminder that God has a purpose. And in fact, my quiet time this morning began with Ephesians 1 through 14. And what jumped off the page at me was that word purpose, according to the purpose of His will. 3 times that phrase occurs in those 14 verses there. And it just highlighted it to me. And I thought, okay, God's got a purpose. And this is about His purposes, not about my purposes. And sometimes the timing needs to be different than what I think it's going to be for His purposes to be accomplished. And you know something? Today has felt like this huge love hug from God. From a quiet time this morning, reminding me about God's purposes and going into the day with open hands, to tonight being reminded, look, what ways can you experience and see God's steadfast love in this situation? And you know something? There's been peace as I've been pondering that. So let me encourage you. You don't always have to just do a quick page for your application. Sometimes there can be some sweet time with Jesus, not only doing your main page, but also your application page. Oh, may He bless the time, both as you're creating the page and then especially as you're doing what He lays on your heart to do. My application, to give Him thanks because He has a purpose for what's taking place, and to keep asking Him to give me power to see His steadfast love even in the midst of this disappointment. Oh, may He bless you as you seek to respond to what He's laid on your heart in the way that He leads you to.